Hey guys, welcome to another episode of my channel. Today we are going to talk about TCP communication between client and server in Java. But in this episode we are going to wrap our communication with encryption. That means that we are going to use SSL. And in Java you cannot use SSL keys and certificates directly, because Java must be complicated. In here we have to create something that is called keystore. And that is nothing but additional layer of security. So first I'm going to show you this directory. In here I have a certificate authority certificate. I have one private key and certificate that corresponds with this private key named broker CRT that is signed with certificate authority certificate, this file. So of course broker CRT, it's a self-signed certificate. And don't be confused, I named these two broker key and broker CRT because I'm using it with a Mosquito server. But these two of course can be used in this example too. So how this communication is going to work? On server side we are going to need a broker key and a broker certificate. When communication is established, server is going to send its certificate to client. Then on the client side, client is going to use certificate authority certificate to verify identity of this server. And when that is done, we are going to have our encrypted communication. And of course, before we continue with this project, we have to create our key store. For that, I'm going to open this terminal, and don't worry, I already have shadows of these commands. So first we are going to create a key store that is going to contain broker key and broker certificate with open SSL. As I told you, I have shadows of these commands. So pkcs12. We need to use command export. Without, we are going to say where we are going to store our key store. So it's going to be keystore p12 extension. Extension p12 or pkcs12 is the same. Within key, we are going to say which private key we are going to use. It's of course broker dot key, and with command in we are going to import its certificate broker CRT. I'm going to type some password now, and I'm going to type 10 times number 1 once more. All right, we have our keystore.p12. Now we are going to import this certificate authority certificate in here, and we are going to use command key tool now with import cert for import certificate. I'm going to use this file certificate authority certificate. We have to provide some alias certificate authority underscore cert. I'm going to follow this shadow, and key store, we are going to provide key store. It's keystore p12, and we have to provide store type pkcs12. pkcs12 is not the only type of key stores out there, but it's most recommended. I have to provide password now. Oh, wrong password. Let me try once again. Okay, now I'm going to say that I trust to this certificate, and finally I'm going to list content of this certificate with key tool list, and of course key store. I'm going to provide keystore p12, store type pkcs12, and store password. Alright, you can see we have private key, we have corresponding certificate, and we have a certificate authority certificate that I named CA cert. Okay, we don't need this terminal anymore. We have our key store, and now I'm going to use Eclipse in order to create our projects. First, I'm going to create server project. I'm going to name this project SSL underscore server, and I'm going to use Java 8. All right. I'm immediately going to create one new project, SSL client. I'm also going to use Java 8. All right. So we are going to deal with the server first. Going to create class server, going to have public static void main, finish. All right. First, this is going to be server on my local machine. I'm going to create string host 27.0.0.1, then int port number. I'm going to use 10,001. Why, I don't know. It doesn't matter. First thing that we have to create now, it's a key manager factory. So key manager factory, call it, and I'm going to import key manager factory. Now key manager factory get instance, and I'm going to have instance of sun x501. Okay, I forgot about this. Why? This is going to be only one function program, so I'm going to go with throw declarations. Okay, in order to solve error problems. But before key manager factory, I'm going to create final char array, call it password. This is going to keep password of our key store, and I'm going to type that password 10 times number 1 to char array. All right, we need one more thing before. It's file input stream, call it f, new file input stream, and I'm going to provide a path to my keystore file. But first, let's solve this error. All right, now let me see. It's keystore in this file, in this directory. I'm going to copy location and keystore p12. All right, what is the problem? Another throw declaration. Wonderful. Now we need SSL context. It's also final SSL context. Call it context or whatever you like. Let's solve this. Import SSL context. It's SSL context get instance, and instance is going to be TLS. Now we need key store. This is actual key store object. First, I'm going to set it to null for initialization. Now key store is going to be key store dot get instance, and we have key store of pkcs 12 type, of course throw declaration, and after initialization we have to load this key store. So key store load. First we have to provide this file, and now password. Another throw declaration. Finally, we have to initialize this key manager factory. So kmp dot init. We need key store, and of course we need password. We have a bunch of these throw declarations. And after key manager factory, we have to initialize our context. SSL context. We are going to use init function, and we are going to provide of only first argument in here. So key manager factory get managers. Rest two arguments are going to remain null. Later you are going to see with client we are going to use only second argument, but there we are going to use trust manager factory. Add row declaration. And now we are going to create a server socket factory. Final SSL server socket factory. Call it factory. I'm going to import this, and I'm going to use this context get server socket factory. Now by using this factory we are going to create server socket. So it's SSL server socket, call it sock. I'm going to include this of course, and I'm going to use factory, create this one, create server socket, but we have to provide port as argument, and this have to be cast to SSL server socket. All right, I'm going to make some space in here. I'm going to print something like waiting. This is going to be printed before we accept communication from our client, and in order to accept communication from our client we have to create SSL socket, call it client. Of course I have to import this, and we have to use this SSL server socket. So socket accept, and of course cast it to SSL socket. And now, same as with any other TCP communication, we need output stream. Output stream, call it out, in order to write to this socket. And in order to get this stream, we are going to use client get output stream. I'm going to include this of course. Then I'm going to create package that is going to be sent. So byte data equals k something simple like this. Get bytes, and of course we are going to write this out. So out write data from 0 to data length out dot flush, and we are going to write system out println. Done. All right, I'm going to save all of this. We are done with the server part, and now I'm just going to create a new class in our client project. Call it client. It's also going to have a static void main, and from server I'm going to copy this entire content. We are going to make some changes in order for our client to work. I'm going to paste everything. First I'm going to solve these errors. All right, everything is imported. And now, first, we also need this host variable that keeps our AP address. Then we also need port. We also need password. File input stream towards our key store is also necessary. But in here, we are not going to need a key manager factory on client side. So I'm going to delete this line. In here, I'm going to create a final trust manager factory, call it trust. I'm going to import this import trust manager factory. Now trust manager factory get instance, and in here trust manager factory get default algorithm. All right, this line it's okay. Now we have a SSL context with instance of TLS. Key store is also necessary. Key store type is PKCS12. Key store load. And now instead of using key manager factory, we are going to use this trust manager factory. We name it trust, but in here we need only key store. We don't need this password. In here with context initialization, we are going to use null as first argument. So because we are not going to need key manager factory in here, we are going to have trust manager factory in here. So we have to provide trust manager. So it's trust get trust managers. Now we are going to change this line. We don't need SSL server socket factory. We need SSL socket factory. Because we are on client side. Now we are not going to create a socket like this. I'm going to delete this line completely. I'm going to create SSL socket, call it sock, and from factory create a socket with two arguments. So first argument is going to be host, second port, and we have to cast this to SSL socket. Okay, we don't need this SSL socket in here because we are on client side. We don't need this writing. Okay, and we are going to use input stream now because we are going to receive a message. Input stream in, import input stream. I'm going to change this from client. No, it's not client, it's sock get input stream. And now I'm going to change this buffer to new byte, and it's going to contain 128 bytes. We are going to use input stream to read, and we are going to read into data from 0 to data length. We don't need this flash, and we are going to print out new string from data encoded as UTF-8. All right, I'm going to save all of this, but I have this error on trust manager factory. Why is that? Ah, yes, I don't have semicolon. That's cool now. Going to save it again, and all right, we don't have this error anymore. So first I'm going to run this server, and then we are going to run our client. So I'm going to use right click, run as Java application. And as you can see, we have waiting. So everything is okay up to now. And now we are going to establish communication with our client, and we are going to send this message to it. So I'm going to right click on client, run as Java application. Hey, this is Java SSL server. So guys, that's all for this episode. I hope that you learned something new and interesting. So please like, subscribe, and see ya!